These are Minecraft end rings. They are massive, perfectly shaped, and scattered millions of blocks away from the end island. But why do these even exist? You see, these are not supposed to be in the game. They were generated because of a code glitch in the game. And today I'm gonna build an entire civilization on these rings. But I have to build it in hardcore. That means even a small mistake would end my world. Now obviously I can't just start placing blocks on the end ring. So I hopped into a creative test world and started sketching out a blueprint for the city. And that's when I realized I can't just bring every block I want to the end. Everything has to fit in a few shulker boxes. And because these rings are literally hundreds of thousands of blocks away, I can't just go back and forth to get the materials. Which meant I had to keep the city relatively simple. Which is great because now I only need a few shulker boxes of paint. Jokes aside, the city is entirely made out of purple concrete. And I should have some left in my duplicate. Alright, that's probably enough. Next, we need a bunch of terracotta. So after farming a ton of clay, cause clay makes terracotta, I waited for the clay to smelt into terracotta. In the meantime, I got some other materials, like glowstone, sand, prismarine from my guardian farm, and also some other random blocks. But you're probably wondering, how will I even travel to the end rings? I could use a flying machine, but that'll take way too long. So instead, I'm gonna use elytras. And because these elytras have mending, they can easily be repaired by killing some endermen. And since we're using elytras, we also need rockets. With that being said, we have all the materials that we need. And if you're wondering how I'm gonna carry all of these to the end, well, introducing the ender chest. With the help of this ender chest, I can carry all the shelter boxes. The best part is, it only takes up one inventory slot. Now it's time to travel to the end rings. These rings are said to be at least 500,000 blocks away from the main island, and only a few have claimed to reach the first ring in survival. Now even though I plan to become the first person to build something on the end rings, right now I'm here. Yeah, not even close. But after 1 hour of non-stop flying, I reached 100,000 blocks. Only 400,000 more to go. But when I stopped to repair my elytra, this happened. No, wait, no! That was way too close. Now since it took us 1 hour to travel 100,000 blocks, it's gonna take us 4 hours to reach the first ring. I have been flying for I don't know how long, and apparently we should reach the first gap very soon. Is this it? No way. Dude, this is insane. Now that we have reached the first gap, this means we are only 100,000 blocks away. But this is where things get serious. Not really, cause it's just a block game. Anyways, as I was saying, from now on, it's just complete void for 100,000 blocks. I genuinely feel scared right now. If all my elytras break, I'm going to lose my world. And while I fly through this insanely deadly void, I'm gonna remind you about subscribing. There's literally no reason not to, so just hit that button. I've been flying for about an hour, and I probably should approach the first ring right now. No way. Bro, I genuinely was convinced that these things don't even exist. Turns out they do. And I'm on one right now. But now it's time to build the actual city here. So first, I'm gonna start off by clearing out the island. And even with an efficiency 5 pickaxe, it takes way too long to mine endstone. But on the bright side, we are done. Bro, it already looks so crazy. And since I had already designed the city in creative, I have schematics of all the buildings. I started by making this space-themed house, cause the end dimension is space. I don't know. But there's a slight problem. You see, I forgot to convert the concrete powder into actual concrete. So now I have to do it in the end. Now that I have all the concrete, let's start making the energy sucker. Trust me, it's not as weird as it sounds. It's just a building which sucks out energy from the void. Basically, it's solar powered, just upside down. Bruh. Next up, I'm gonna make a huge tower in the middle of the city. And this tower is supposed to store the energy which is being extracted from the void. But it's completely empty from the inside. But before I could move on to the next building, something very weird happened. As I was getting the materials for my next build, that gave me a job. Now that the city is 40% complete, let's move on to the next build. And this is going to be very hard. Not because of the building itself, yeah, it's just a cylinder, it's easy, but because of the enderman. Whenever I try to build something, these guys think I looked at them and start attacking me. So to end this once and for all, I'm gonna try to trap as many endermen as I can in this building. These are the only ones that I managed to get. Bruh. Now I'm gonna make the last 2 buildings, which I'm gonna pretend are cool, but they are just boxes. But now it's time to build the best part of the city, a spaceship. But first, we need to make pathways around the whole city. Now that that's out of the way, it's time to build the spaceship. That's just a schematic. And since I didn't bring scaffolding, I was struggling to build this thing. But gravity was the least of my worries because I still had to deal with Enderman. Yo, can you move? Bro, what? And with that, the spaceship is complete, but it looks a bit lame. Alright, that's much better. With the last build of this video complete, I wanted to do one last thing. To truly claim these end rings, I built my flag.